Hello, I am back with a new video and I'm very excited about this one for a number of reasons, but it's going to be a short video and it's going to be a very talkative video. This year is ending very, very quickly and I have noticed that I have a ton of books on my shelf. Not a ton, I have like volumes and volumes and volumes of books. Notebooks, textbooks, sketchbooks, reading books, hardcover books, softcover books. Too many books. And I am somebody who is trying to get closer to a minimalistic lifestyle. And so I was looking at my bookshelf and I was like, wait a minute, have I actually touched these books in years? And the answer is no, I haven't touched them. And so because of that, I thought to myself, why do I have all of this? Why? And I think that, some books are useful, some books are great and everything, but we are most definitely in the age of information. We have volumes, we have literally hundreds and thousands of years, I want to say, years of information from hundreds of different countries and cultures and religions from around the world. So having information, I guess you could say, has become almost detrimental to me, especially because I'm someone who really loves learning, and my bookshelf reflects that. I have books, all kinds of books and all kinds of planners and all kinds of notebooks and sketchbooks, like I mentioned earlier, and what happens is I just accumulate information. And I feel like this is what a lot of people do. They accumulate information and they're like expecting to implement it sometime in the future, or they just want to get smart for the sake of smartness. And basically, they learn a whole bunch of things without really ever implementing it. And basically, it becomes useless information because there's a difference, in my opinion, between information and knowledge and actual expertise. Like they're all different. As I've grown up, I guess you could say, I realized that I can't learn everything and I cannot be this jack of all trades, master of none. It kind of doesn't work in my opinion. But nonetheless, we are going into a new year. We have a couple months left till 2026. And so I thought to myself, maybe looking at my stuff and letting go of things that I don't need anymore might be a really good idea. And that's why we're here. I have decided to start letting go of some of the planners and notebooks that I have, because in all honesty, I haven't looked at them in years. I haven't touched this in years. I haven't cared for them in years, and they're just taking up space that I don't really need anymore. I want the things that I have to serve me, not to hinder me. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started. Every couple of weeks, I think I'm going to do a video like this, just because I want to make this like a normal thing. And I also, even though I'm purchasing these things, I want to make sure in the future that I am not I'm almost like, I feel like some people get rid of things to get more things. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I'm getting rid of things and I'm going towards that sort of minimalistic lifestyle without replacing my old things with new things. I want to be, I guess, more strategic when it comes to my consumerism. Nonetheless, these are some of the planners that I loved in the past. And I really think that this is a good video to look at my past planners and just to see what worked for me and what didn't, and sort of what I would have done if I could go back in time. One of the things that I noticed about myself is that I was a garbage planner. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna refrain from cursing just to spare your ears from terrible language. But nonetheless, I'm definitely somebody who had to learn how to plan. I'm somebody who I felt like really wasn't consistent in the things that I viewed as hard. I wasn't somebody who knew how to plan my goals and how to break them down. Only recently, in the past, I want to say a couple of years, have I really gotten that. And hopefully I'll do another video on how my planning process and how I get to my goals. But nonetheless, these planners are 100% a reflection on those things. Nonetheless, we are going to get started with the oldest planner I have. This is a Wordsworth planner that I got off of Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and cover my personal information, but as you can see, it says Wordsworth. Yeah, Wordsworth planner. And I really like this planner, believe it or not. This was a very intense planner. It is one of those pre-printed planners. I'm gonna try to find a page that doesn't have any personal information. And if I can see, if I get to the layout, yeah, this is how the layout looks. It is a weekly planner, and it comes with all of these extra, all these extra layouts and stuff like that. And as you can see, this is a mess, but it's very similar to a lot of different weekly planners that you'll find. I think one of the biggest things for me is that I was not really able, I don't know how to say this, I think I just wanted to do everything. Like, it's just really, that's what this was for me. But I'll do a quick flip through on how this planner looks like. I don't think I have any personal information on these pages, but they come with several pages to sort of orient you into the sort of direction that you want to go for the year. What I've noticed though is that this is too much. This is insane. And like, how should I say this? There's a time where, like, I've noticed about myself is that if the planner is pre-printed and I try to fit myself in this rigid sort of box format or rigid format, I feel like it gets a little tough. But nonetheless, this is a really good planner if you're somebody who really wants to have like a blueprint. This is an A5 size and it is black. I don't remember how much this cost, but as you can see, this is the monthly, and I just basically butchered this. I didn't really have like a really good like stationery set that I do have now. Another thing that I've noticed is that like I just really didn't execute very well in this planner. I think that the beginning of the year, looks like the beginning of the year was super strong for me, and then yeah, there are like a few effective things, yeah. But anyway, if this is like really, it worked pretty nice, if I can, from what I can tell. I think that it was a very nice planner when I was using it. I think the most difficult thing for me is that I wasn't a neat person. I didn't fully utilize this because I wasn't neat, and that was like my biggest thing I've noticed when I was planning. If I'm not neat in this, it's really hard for me to hone in on my planning. And so let's go ahead and look at one of the layouts. So what you have here is you have a focus, you have a grateful for, you have a reflection, all really good things. You have a to-do list, which you have a priority, a secondary. You have just empty lines to add what you need to do if there's like appointments or something like that. And then at the bottom it has rate your week, and then it also comes with a key on the bottom. Let me see if I can go ahead and just bring up the book to show you. So if you could see the key on the bottom, and then rate your week, and then 1 through 10. Very nice, right? In theory, this should have been perfect for me. I just ended up falling off pretty quickly. As you can see, it's just, oh, I went to Kenya. It just fell off very quickly. And I blame my lack of neatness. That's what this was. That really just threw me off. But I did use the planner for the entire year. I am somebody who, what I do is I try to use the planner for the entire year. I think I try to use the planner for the entire year before I will switch systems, because in the past I thought, I'm not trying hard enough. I have to fit in the system. It's perfect for what I need. Of course it's gonna work. And that is the wrong thinking, in my opinion. You should always just switch up your planning system if it's not working for you, because your life changes, in my opinion. In the back here, I have notes on sort of like my yearly goals, sort of some self-development notes, what my vision was. And time again, one of my biggest drawbacks that I've learned is that I just try to do everything. And that's not the case. That shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case. I'm looking at this now and I do feel like I have to sit down and just like read through all of this and then throw it away. That's what I plan on doing after this video. But this was my first planner. Let me see. I believe this is 2020. What year is this? 2020, 2023? 2022, 2020, what year? This is insane, I have no idea. Wait a minute, I know where I can look. I know where I can look for that. She is 2022, it's 2022, right? I'm pretty sure this is 2022. I'm pretty sure it's 22, see? I crossed off the days, 2022. Next is my 2023 weeks planner. Oh my God, I love this. Now, honestly, when I first got the weeks, I thought the size was perfect. And then when I started using it, I found it way too small. If you noticed from the last planner, my handwriting is definitely on the bigger side, especially if I don't have any sort of like lines or like something to guide my handwriting. That's what like I noticed with this week's, and I'm so disappointed that Hobonichi does not come out with like another one of these like weeks that has like, how should I say this? I love the black and white. I love One Piece. I actually don't watch One Piece. I stopped watching and reading One Piece because I did both. I watched the anime and I read the manga. I think for me, I feel like reading manga is a lot more entertaining than actually watching. And the reason why is because I love drawing. I love anime drawing. I love black and white. I love like sort of the tonality of manga and just like the amount of skill it needs to bring these to like the detail that that they need to be to convey, or like it's just like full of skill. Like I feel like manga artists are filled with skill. But nonetheless, I absolutely love this. I love this cover. I love this cover. If Hobonichi comes out with another anime cover like this, and it's an anime that I like, I don't care if I need it or not. I'm gonna buy it. But this is just like my favorite planner. Like, I wouldn't say my favorite planner, my favorite planner cover. Hobonichi Weeks itself, I kind of didn't get as much use out of it. I noticed that I am a daily planner person. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I have a Hobonichi cousin right now, and I absolutely love it. But I specifically got it because I really wanted this cover. Like, I really, really wanted it. And even though I plan on throwing away this week, Hobonichi Weeks, I am so taking out the artwork. I'm taking out this, and I'm taking out this. I'm like, I'm gonna do something with this cover. Like, I'm gonna take the cover and I'm just gonna throw everything else away. But nonetheless, this is a really, really nice planner as well. This like size, I find it literally absolutely wonderful. This is like a really, really good size in my opinion. Nonetheless, this is a 2023 planner. As you can see, I covered this with a piece of paper. You can't really see it. But nonetheless, it's like, as you can see, I have the same theme of like not planning my planners and it turned into like low-key a mess. And like, it's such a shame. Looking back in time, it's such a shame that I did this. But I just really couldn't make it work for me, and it's so debilitating when that happens for me. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. I'm gonna, nonetheless though, I'm keeping the cover. I'm throwing all this stuff away, and I'm gonna do a quick flip through after the video to see if there's any important information in this. Not that I think there is, but this was disappointing for me because one, I did not know I was a daily planner at the time, and two, I just didn't know how to deal with, like, as you can see, the Hobonichi on this side doesn't have any grid, and I didn't know that was going to throw me off. I noticed that I need grid. I can't do blank when it comes to writing. I can do blank when it comes to sketching. I can't do blank when it comes to writing. And that also like super frustrated me when I was using this. Would I use the Hobonichi again? As a supplement. I would use it as a supplement. I would not use it as an actual planner. I would use it for anything else but planning because I just need daily planning. But as you can see, low-key a mess. A low-key a mess. But I learned a lot while using this planner. I learned a lot. And I think that there's a lot of people who will encourage you to not sort of... Actually, everybody on the internet will say 1 million things about planning. But I feel like experimenting with planning has been such a blessing for me. I noticed that if I did not experiment with planning, if I did not experiment with planning, I would not like discover such wonderful products, nor would I be such a good planner as I am now. And when I say planning, I mean that I'm finally gotten to the point where I have learned to not only plan my goals and my days and all these fun things, I've been able to execute on them as well. Am I going to keep this artwork? I have to keep this artwork. I'm going to make a video on how I'm going to tear this apart and keep it for me because it has to, like, I can't throw this away. That's evil. That's just evil in my eyes. I'm going to do something with it. I don't know if I'm going to make like a pencil board out of it or what, but it's like I'm throwing everything away but the artwork. And so we shall see, we shall see, we shall see. Nonetheless, let's move on to my 2024 planner that I will also be throwing away. This is the N1H Compact Full Year by Sterling Ink. It's the Common Planner. I got it in this beautiful faux leather green, and I absolutely loved this when I got it. I thought it was so amazing, and I still think that it's a really, really good product. I think that there's a few things that I learned that I don't care what paper I'm using when it comes to fountain pens. It doesn't have to be Tomio River paper. It just has to not bleed. I guess it has to not bleed and not smudge, preferably. And, you know, when I was using this, I actually really liked it. But again, I had the same problem. I got another Weeks planner, just in like a bigger size, because I thought the size was throwing me off. No, it was the actual layouts that were throwing me off. But I made the same mistake the next year. And I got this planner. And I believe 2024 is when she came out with this size, with this TN size. Because this does fit in a Traveler's Notebook by Traveler's Company. It is a really beautiful planner, and I feel like I was finally, quote-unquote, planning my planners. I know that's kind of weird, but that is basically what you have to do with some planners. And as you can see, it's starting to get neater. Like, my planning was developing, in my opinion, compared to, like, this. Like, what a difference this is. Let me go ahead. See, if you look at, this is like October. This is, you know, like, what is this? And then, as you can see, I'm slowly developing my planner game. I started doing less, which turned out to be more, which is really good. There are some times, as you can see, there's some that are like, there's some months that are kind of like trash, but I did start like getting into like figuring it out, I guess you can say. And it's such a difference between this and this. Like look at that, like beyond. So you can tell it's like literally night and day. And I started like finding what was working for me. And like when it comes to planners, I think I already mentioned this, but I'm gonna say it again. I try to use them for the entire year. I try to figure it out for the entire year. Even if it's hurting me, I want to give it like the best shot, I guess you can say. And I loved the monthlies. I really loved like the size of the monthlies for this. And again, oh, look at that. That's so nice. It's so empty. But as you can see, I kind of fell into the same sort of mistake almost of not planning my planners. And it, as you can tell, it stopped working again for me. It stopped working because it was the layouts, not necessarily the planner. And so I just like ended up filling it up with a whole bunch of washi paper, a whole bunch of washi stickers, anything I could get my hands on. I just like used it all up in this. I really love the washi that's in this. I really, really do. But it was just, I was kind of over it, for lack of a better term. And as you can tell, I did not get as much, like it just didn't work for me in the end. Because again, it was the wrong layout. And again, I don't think there's any information in here that I want to keep. And so, well, this is really pretty. So I am off camera. I will give it a read and then I'm just gonna throw away the entire thing, preferably recycle the entire thing. I do think that I have to separate the faux leather and throw the faux leather in the trash, but the actual paper itself is just gonna go in the trash, or I mean in the recycling bin. And it's such a shame, but I think one of the main lessons I've learned from my previous planners is that you have to plan your planners. Like you have to sit down and you have to evaluate what you need, what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, and try to figure out if the layouts work for you or not. This was a process, as you can see. This is 3 years of planning practice, for lack of a better term. And I do think that, there is this concept of analysis paralysis where you just like deep dive into the internet and you're just bombarded with so many decisions and so many options that you're kind of just like, what the hell is all of this? Is this really necessary? But I do think that at least sometimes you should evaluate. I do think that experimentation is a good idea, but it should be like consistent experimentation. I'll go into another video on like what I've learned through like my planning journey and stuff like that. And I'll use this as a reference to show you guys just like what has changed. But nonetheless, these are all gonna go in the recycling bin. I am going to separate the covers. I'm going to separate the covers of these because I don't think I can recycle these particular like faux leathers. And I am going to say goodbye. Even though I love them, they're really nice, they're really good for reference, I want them to go. They need to go so I can sort of let go of my past. I really feel like when I look at these planners, there are a few regrets that I see, years of lack of decision making or productivity. And I kind of want to let those go because the past is the past and the future is future. And the present is a gift. Hence why they call it present. I think that's from Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. But I think that it's time to go. It's time for these to go. It's time for these to be recycled. And it's time to move on to the next chapter of my life. Nonetheless, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.